Hello Toronto, this is Santoshi Shah from Abler HD Canada. So today video is special because we are covering Jewish community about Israel and Hamas war. What's their opinion about it? We will cover in this video. So without further ado, let's get started. Hello Meadow, how are you? And we are here with Michelle. How are you, Michelle? So 7 October 2023. In Israel there is some festival going on, and in the morning Hamas attacked rocket, and in the attack there is like several people injured, dead and kidnapped by the Hamas war. In the attack some people are from outside like Canada or USA, UK, lots of people from different country, but still Hamas group hostage them, they killed it, they brutally attack to the women, children and senior citizen. So what was your initial reaction when you heard that?
So last Saturday, October 7th, was actually a Jewish holiday.
Yeah.
So we were celebrating here as well. The holiday started on Friday night and finished on Sunday night. And during that holiday we don't use our phones. And so we were hearing news from people passing on the street, from people coming from home that had someone that came and told them, and we were just hearing more and more gruesome details of the attack, and obviously worried until the holiday was over when we got ourselves updated. Jews in Israel have many levels, many other citizenships, and yes, there's a lot of foreign workers that work there, but it's the most brutal and deadly attack since the Holocaust, and pretty much like the Holocaust. I mean, the behavior of these, I don't know even what to call them, because I wouldn't call them people, and I wouldn't even call them animals, because I don't think animals are so cruel. It's just unhuman, barbaric people that don't have any regard for any level of humanity. And I don't know, there isn't even words to describe, and there isn't, I mean, like, what bothers me is, you know, the world stands up right in the beginning and says, oh, this is terrible. But then, after a half a second pause, starts to talk about, oh, and the people in Gaza. It's a war between Israel and Hamas, as if there's some kind of a parallel. There is no parallel between human beings, which could make mistakes at times, and subhuman, barbaric animals. There is no possibility of talking to such people, or communicating, or coming to terms. They don't have the same, I don't know how you even find the words. I mean, I would imagine that they have the same DNA, but there's no common grounds.
Yeah.
You can talk about, you know, we can go into a whole philosophic discussion. We can go into history of how the Middle East was and how this developed, and the arguments on this side and the arguments on that side, and you can argue till you're blue in the face. But at the end, if you want to make some kind of deal with somebody, it has to be with someone who, you know, one of the lines that Golda Meir, who was the prime minister during the Yom Kippur War, once said is, we will have peace with the Arabs when they love their children more than they hate us. Think about that line. You're dealing, when people are human and they care about other humans, even their own kids, then you can communicate with them. But when they can be so barbaric, and by the way, they killed Arabs in Israel too, and then they kill their own. When Israel's coming in and Israel says, we're going to attack terrorists, so evacuate an area, and the Hamas says, no, stay where you are. What does it mean, stay where you are? So that they get killed? Israel is careful not to go to hospitals, and the whole story of yesterday and this whole made-up thing as if Israel did it, after every intelligence agency says it's not Israel, but they don't care. They are happy for that. They have the headquarters of the Hamas, everybody knows, is under the Shifa hospital in Gaza. Why are they under the hospital? Because they know Israel won't attack a hospital. I don't think the United States would do that. If you ask me, if the United States was dealing with terrorists attacking them, and they knew that the headquarters of ISIS after 9/11 was under a hospital, they would bomb the whole hospital. Because if that's what I need to do to get rid of terrorists that want to kill me, that's what I have to do. Israel didn't. Israel for 10 years was dealing every time with trying to find terrorists that are here and terrorists that are there, even though they know where the headquarters is, because you can't touch the hospital. So now the world is going to blame us that we hit a hospital. You're not dealing with a playing field that you can even start talking about. There's definitely lots of people that live there that are suffering. What's important to understand is that they're not suffering because of Israel. They're suffering because of their own people. They're suffering because they elected the Hamas government. The Hamas became the leader in 2006 of the Gaza Strip by an election. People chose to make them their government. Now, it could be that there hasn't been an election since, and many people would have wanted to get rid of them, but they are a government that the people brought in. They're making their people suffer. No one has an interest in them suffering. But at the same time, when you have a state that its government are terrorists, you need to secure yourself from that state. You need to protect your own civilians. Our job is to make sure that after this war is over, Jews can live in those same settlements right along the border that they did before. So you have a kibbutz that has been there since, I don't know, the 1940s, 1930s, 1920s, I don't know where. People that actually are very much into peace with who knows, and a lot of them realizing now that maybe their opinions were wrong until now. They're not going to move back there if they're afraid that in 5 years something like this will happen again. Israel has a responsibility to its citizens to make sure that every person knows this will never happen again. Sadly, the only way to do that is to make sure that there are no weapons in the Gaza Strip.